say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
So, this happened the other day. Guys, it's the 22nd of August, and I'm so excited because I think I just got my period. I say I think because it definitely could just be spotting right now, like it's not full on, you know? So I'll check back in with you when I know for sure. But oh my god, I did not expect this to happen so fast. I am very happy to confirm that I did indeed get my period. It wasn't just spotting, it was like 5 days of perioding. Yay! For anyone who hasn't been staying like super up to date with all my content, I came off of hormonal birth control about 3.5 months ago after being on it for about 6 years. A while ago I made a whole video all about the negative side effects of birth control and why I personally have decided to come off of it, so I will link that down in the description box below. Highly recommend checking it out regardless of whether or not you're on hormonal birth control or not, just to be educated about it. But basically there are a lot of negative side effects of hormonal birth control that your doctor doesn't necessarily tell you when they just write you a prescription for the pill. As was the case with me. When I went on it, my doctor was just like, here you go. Have fun not getting pregnant. And I was like, thanks. And seeing as I did go on the pill specifically for birth control reasons, like I didn't have any other conditions that I was trying to treat with hormonal birth control, I thought coming off of it would be relatively easy. Like I thought I would get my period back right away because that kind of tends to be what happens. Usually when people go on the pill because they're trying to compensate for other symptoms, then the transition coming off of it can be really rough because it's just covering those symptoms, not actually treating them, so they kind of fester for all the years that you're on birth control, and then when you come off of it, it's not fun. But since I didn't have anything like that, I thought I would get my period back within like a month or two, and 2 months went by, and then 3 months went by, and as you guys know, I was starting to freak out a little bit because technically 3 months without a period is amenorrhea. And I honestly wasn't like super worried about it because it is fairly common for it to take longer than a month or two to get your period back, just because you're coming off of hormonal birth control. Like your body has to detox from all the excess hormones, reestablish the brain to ovary connection, and upregulate its own endogenous production of the hormones that are necessary for a menstrual cycle. So I wasn't super concerned, but I did just want to get my period back as soon as possible because your period it's your 5th vital sign. Like if something's wrong with it, that is an indicator that there's something deeper in your body that is out of whack. And I do want to clarify something really quick because in my last few videos where I've discussed that I technically had amenorrhea, I got a lot of people making suggestions that were completely irrelevant to my personal situation. And I just want to like distinguish the different things just for educational purposes. I basically got a lot of people telling me you need to quit exercise and start eating at least 2,500 calories, or you need to check out Stephanie Buttermore's all-in journey and blah 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 blah. And I just want to make it abundantly clear that amenorrhea is not only caused by overtraining or undereating or restriction or any of that. It is the cause for a lot of people who do lose their periods, but that is not the only thing that causes someone to lose their period. I come from a background of never having unhealthfully restricted. I've never been too lean. I've never been too low in weight. I've never overtrained other than like a 1 month period where I just accidentally did that because I was excited to go to the gym so much. And even that was like 2 years ago. So for me to get my period back, cutting my training and eating more would have been completely irrelevant to what I needed to do to get my period back. I do think I needed to eat at maintenance and not train super intensely, but I certainly didn't need to go to the other end of the extreme because I was never on the low end of the extreme. So all this is to say, if you are missing your period, if you have amenorrhea and you have never overtrained or undereaten in your life, then look into other things other than hypothalamic amenorrhea. For my body personally, I believe that the 2 big things that contributed to me not getting my period back right away were 1, purely the fact that I was coming off of hormonal birth control. In an otherwise perfectly healthy person, just that, it can take months to get your period back after quitting the pill. But the second thing that I think contributed to it was the tail end of my topical steroid withdrawal recovery process. And I've talked to you guys about this before, but basically what I think happened, kind of, my skin is perfectly fine, but I think my cortisol has still been a little bit out of whack. And that's been evidenced by the fact that I kind of gained a bunch of weight out of nowhere, was unable to lose it. My sleep has kind of shifted around. For some weeks it's really great, for some weeks it just starts to be a little bit off, and those can all be signs of an imbalance in cortisol. And if your cortisol's messed up, your sex hormones aren't going to be able to regulate either. So I do want to make an entire video about everything I did to support my body in coming off of hormonal birth control, because truth be told, I've kind of been preparing my body for this for like 8 months, a year leading up to when I came off of it. Not really intentionally, but a lot of the stuff that I was doing definitely helped support my body in coming off of hormonal birth control. So I do want to do a completely dedicated video on that. If you have any questions you want me to address in that video, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. I was gonna do it in this video, like I have all my notes right here, but I wanted to give you guys a chance to ask questions too, so that I can address everything that you want to know. But yeah, I'm feeling really good, really excited, and there's a few like huge changes that I've noticed in myself, like mentally and physically, in the last like month or two that I really want to chat with you guys about later in this video. But I actually have a doctor's appointment today pretty soon. I need to make breakfast and get ready for that, so we can chat about that later. Just going in for like a regular health checkup, not related to, I don't theoretically have any more issues that need to be addressed, but who knows at this point. Breakfast. This is gonna look very familiar to you guys. It's just the chocolate frosty smoothie bowl, except this time I made it mint chocolate. Instead of doing it the peanut butter for SIGMATIC protein powder with a bunch of cacao powder to make it chocolate peanut butter, I just used the cacao for SIGMATIC protein powder and then added 1 drop of peppermint extract. That is really all you need. It's so thick and so creamy and so delicious. It makes me happy. So one of the changes that I've experienced since getting my period back is that in the last like 2 weeks, my appetite has tanked. Like in kind of a weird way. Like I've not only not been hungry, I've been kind of unhungry. And so that's been something I've kind of been fighting against, because I told you guys before that I was eating super intuitively to really listen to my body, give it what it needs to get my period back. Now it's telling me not to eat, and I feel like that's not a good thing. So I'm basically trying to eat things that are as delicious as possible to get my appetite up so that I can, you know, like not starve. Please let me know down in the comments if any of you guys experienced a lack of appetite if you lost your period and got it back, because I'm very curious. All right, I put on some pants, grabbed a little sweatshirt so that I don't freeze to death in the doctor's office because it's always so freaking cold. So yeah, now it's time to go get poked and prodded. Yay. So I thought that would take me an hour and a half max, like 3.5 hours later. So I am running very behind for today now. Not complaining, honestly, totally worth it for this doctor. This is the best doctor that I have found. Like, I love him, and you guys know how I feel in general about conventional medicine. This guy's just like super on point. So for all of you who are struggling with health issues and have been screwed over by Western medicine like I have, highly recommend just trying different doctors. Be your own best advocate. Like, do your research on the doctors before you just try a different doctor. I spent probably hours combing through all the different doctors who were in my network to find someone whose bio really aligned with how I feel about health and medicine. It's not gonna work every time, because the previous doctor that I went to, I did that for too, and he was a colossal disappointment, but it will help you filter out at least some of the less helpful doctors. But since I now am super behind, I'm just gonna spend a few hours like smashing out as much work as I can. If I have a snack, I'll let you know, but like I said, don't have much of an appetite. All right, time for some handstand practice. honestly, I feel like I should just walk away right there because that felt really good. I know I counted to 10 in my head. It was probably closer to 5, but I felt super stable. The only thing is I was constantly saying to myself, don't breathe, don't breathe, don't breathe, or else you're gonna fall over. So, need to learn how to breathe in a handstand, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. I'm actually about to like sit down and film my whole I tried doing handstands for 30 days thing. So if you want to see how I went from this to this, then check out that video. I think it should be out by now. I'll link it down in the description. But I'm actually feeling like kind of hungry. I think the handstands worked up a little bit of hunger. So I just have a little handful of nuts. I have 1 Brazil nut for some selenium, and then just like a few almonds and cashews. All right, handstand video has been filmed. Got ton of work done. Finally have a second to sit down, or I guess stand up. I'm technically standing up right now, and talk to you guys about some of the significant changes that I have experienced since my hormones have started to rebalance, excluding obviously getting my period back. That's like the big one. We already talked about that, but there's some other stuff. Number 1 is that I think my period was a lot lighter than it was before. It was definitely lighter than it was while I was on birth control, and I'm pretty sure it was lighter than before I ever went on birth control. I don't really remember. It felt like a light period. And I don't know if it's gonna be consistently like this or if it's just because it was my first one. We shall see, but it just felt like that was worth noting. The second thing that's on the annoying side, as opposed to the that's kind of nice side, is that I have been getting a lot more acne. I have never really dealt with acne while on the pill. Before I went on the pill, acne was not something I ever really thought about. Like, I'd get 1 or 2 pimples here and there around my period, and that was basically it. And in the last like 2 months, which is why I thought I was gonna get my period a lot sooner, because I started getting some acne, I was like, that's a sign that something's happening, so maybe I'm gonna get my period. It was a sign that something was happening, but it's just an annoying sign that something's been happening. I think this is probably just going to slowly go away. One of the big reasons people get acne coming off the pill is because of androgen rebound. So because the pill suppresses your own production of testosterone, when you come off of it, your body has to re-regulate it, and so sometimes it can rebound and you end up with higher testosterone, which will cause acne. There's a few other potential causes for it, so I'm just kind of gonna monitor it over the next like 3 months, hopefully, if I have 3 consistent cycles. And if it doesn't go away, then I'll probably start experimenting with like supplements and tweaking my diet and exercise. But for now, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just kind of annoyed by it. You can't really tell right now because I just put foundation on to film my previous video, but like, I'll have my foundation off later and you'll be able to see it. My skin tone is just not very even, and it's not as fun. The next thing is much more fun, and I think much more interesting. After I finished my period, I dropped like 4 pounds in a day. I just woke up the next day, wasn't on my period anymore, looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I look a lot leaner. I'm gonna weigh myself. And I was down like 4 pounds. And since then, I've lost another pound. So I am down 5 pounds, putting in literally 0 effort. The potential confounding variable there is that in the last week, since I started losing that weight, my appetite has also massively decreased. So I've definitely been eating less overall, which would have contributed to the weight loss. But I lost those 4 pounds before my appetite kind of decreased. So I don't think it's just that. I'm also not sure if this is more permanent fat/weight loss, or if my weight's just gonna go back up when I get into my luteal phase, because theoretically, you know, if I do have another period in a couple weeks, my body's gonna be storing a little bit more water, get a little bit more bloated. So maybe this is just how my weight is gonna fluctuate throughout my cycle. I don't know. I just found it very interesting because, as I always say, if you focus on health first, the aesthetics will follow. And what just happened? I stopped focusing on fat loss, started focusing purely on getting my period back, and I lost 5 pounds without trying. Honestly, if there's like one takeaway from this video, that's the big one. And then the last change that I think I've been noticing, although I have to say I think there are some more confounding variables with this because it's not necessarily hormone related, but I feel like overall in the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been happier. I've been more motivated. I think I've had a little bit better mental clarity. I forget which book it was that I listened to. It was either In the Flow or The Period Repair Manual, but the author talked about how when she came off birth control, within a couple months, she was listening to more music and enjoying it more. And I didn't really think much about that until a couple days ago, where I was like walking down the street, just on my morning walk, listening to music, and I was just like
so happy to just be walking down the street listening to music. Like the music was just making me happy. And I was like, it's not like I wasn't enjoying music before, but I feel like I might actually be getting more out of it now. Also, now that I think about it, I might be having less anxiety. I would never have said that like I had an anxiety disorder or anything like that before, but I have been a very like anxious, stressed kind of person. Definitely lots of social anxiety, and I feel like that may have decreased a little bit, but I think it's a little bit too early to tell. So those are some of the big changes that I've experienced, but here's the thing, I have had one period. I don't know if I'm going to just immediately have a regular cycle. I don't know if I'm even gonna get another period. Like, I still don't know where my body is really at right now. I've heard from a lot of people that they'll come off birth control, have like 3 periods, and then not get a period for 2 years. So that could be me. That's why I didn't want to make this video like a how I got my period back video, because I want to make sure I like really have it back and have a regular cycle before I share everything that I'm doing to have a regular cycle. So I will certainly be keeping you guys updated on that. But for now, I am actually hungry, I think. So it is dinner time. No idea what I'm gonna make. Honestly, not even sure what's in my fridge. I just know I have some leftover ground bison cooked up. So whatever I make is gonna have that. For dinner, I ended up gathering up all of the veggies that were in my fridge that were literally like going bad. They weren't about to go bad. I probably should have thrown them away. So hopefully I don't die. But I chopped up 4 carrots, a bunch of purple sweet potato, some cauliflower, and then I used my leftover ground bison, added in a little bit of kale, and now I just have a giant plate of food. I think I put a touch too much cayenne pepper on the veggies because I had a bite of one earlier and I started coughing because it was just so spicy, but other than that, I think I did good with dinner. Although I am now realizing that the base for my smoothie this morning was cauliflower and sweet potato, so I don't have much variety in my diet today, vegetable-wise, but that's fine. I needed to use them better than letting them go bad and throwing them away. It took me a while, but I ended up finishing my dinner. Go me. Had a little shower, did a little face mask, and now I'm just chilling out watching some New Girl with some organic India Tulsi sleep tea. So as far as kind of moving forward with my hormones and regulating my cycle and everything, I am still planning on doing some testing. I missed the cutoff to be able to do the female hormone test this cycle because you're supposed to do it on day 3. So I have to wait till day 3 of my next cycle and I'll be doing that testing, and I think I'm gonna do thyroid testing too at the same time. I am still planning on waiting until I have consistency with my cycle to pursue any intentional fat loss. The last thing that I want to do is get my period back and then lose it because I go a little bit too hardcore for what my hormones are ready for. I am planning on shifting my training a little bit to be more in sync with my cycle and my eating to be more in sync with my cycle. If you've seen my video all about how to eat and train with your menstrual cycle, you'll know how I plan on doing this, but if not, I will link that down in the description box below. It's a very comprehensive video on kind of how your hormones change throughout the month and what that means for optimal training and nutrition. I'm gonna keep taking a lot of the supplements that I've been taking that I was taking to help get my period back. I'm also going to like chart my cycle and track and like really get in depth with all of that stuff, and I'm really excited to like embrace the feminine energy that comes with all of this and kind of just like dive deeper into my womanhood. I don't know. So with that, I think I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Again, if you have any questions about things I did to support my body to get my cycle back, as well as things I'm doing now to try to promote a regular menstrual cycle, leave them down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really does support me and my channel, and I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, your neighbors. If you want to see more videos from me all about health and fitness and the menstrual cycle, you can check them out over here. To see future videos from me and follow me along this journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye.